Hi, my name is Rafa Jimenez and I'm the founder of Seenapse, and I'm very happy to share with you something that the whole team at Seenapse has been working really hard for the past few months, and we're extremely happy and proud of the results, and we think that you will like them too. We did a refresh of our homepage, and I just wanted to show you very quickly this image here at the homepage because I think it encapsulates very well what Seenapse is about. Seenapse helps you to get better ideas faster, and it generates better ideas than other AI tools because all large language models are limited technologically to work within a normal distribution of data, and basically they tend to go to the average, and the average is the opposite of what you want when you want ideas that are interesting and that stand out from the rest. And so you can visualize it like this. ChatGPT and the rest are like in the orbit of the obvious ideas, and with Seenapse you can go beyond that into the territory of interesting and surprising ideas. Let me show you how that works. I'll log in into my account here, and the first thing that you will notice is that our interface has changed and it resembles more like a mind map now. And this is very cool because it allows us to explore in a non-linear way many different possibilities, as opposed to be working in a single thread in which it becomes very cumbersome and difficult to go back and tell the chatbot what idea you liked and what to develop and what to forget. And this allows you to really be very flexible and very fast in your approach. This particular board that I'm showing you as an example, a board is basically an infinite canvas, is one of many that you can have created and that you can obviously work on at different times. And model bikes, it's a brand of modular bicycles with swappable parts. And we started this brief by giving it a document to analyze, a PDF with a brief for model. And what Seenapse returns when you do that is a synthesis of the whole brief, but it keeps the whole thing in memory for it to work with. So it's just for you to have like a too long didn't breathe version handy. And starting from this brief, I decided to explore creating a first thread asking simply for 5 ideas. Give me 5 ideas. And you will notice that you don't have to be a prompt engineer or a prompt master to get the best out of Seenapse. You speak to Seenapse in the same way that you will speak to any of your colleagues. And let's take a look at these ideas that Seenapse generated just by using the PDF as context of the brief. And you will notice that the way that Seenapse writes the ideas is similar to the way that people brainstorm or bounce off ideas with one another, which is mentioning some reference that came to mind and then mentioning the idea that they think can work by using that. So Seenapse works exactly like that. So we have this build for everything idea, the model manifesto, your urban canvas, paint your ride, the future of biking, a design revolution. And for example, in this case, because of the description, I thought it would be interesting to use the option to illustrate this. And I used it twice because the first time, and this was the path for the first one, it drew this for me, which is interesting because we have 2 different like front posts that can be exchanged for the bike, but really the vibes were not there from the description. So I asked it for another one, and this is more like it. I like this one better. You can generate images anytime you want during your creative process in Seenapse. And the images and all the text that you generate is yours. You can do whatever you want with those. You can download the images, you can publish them if you want. It's important to tell you though that we didn't design Seenapse with the goal of giving you final copy or final art, but rather giving you lots of possibilities to work from and make something unique and your own using your criteria and your taste. And this is so the first set of 5 ideas. In this case, for example, in this last one, I decided to challenge it a little bit more, and it generated another set of 5 ideas that try to go beyond the usual. and some of them are more interesting. One that I particularly liked was this one frame, 5 lives, follow the stories of 5 different characters. But the great thing about Seenapse is that you can, for example, explore each different idea and take it in the direction that you feel will be stronger. So for example, in this case, I give it the direction of, I think it will be better if it's the same person with 5 roles instead of 5 different persons. And so it helps me to flesh out the idea with the direction I gave it. I liked it, and so I asked for a 15-second video using that, and it gives me this idea, your bike, with a split-second montage. And I asked for a storyboard, and it describes the storyboard first, and then if you want, you can have the storyboard drawn, and again, you can generate images at any time that it makes sense in your process. But notice how, for example, you can go and develop different ideas, and you can go back and forth. For example, I could go back to one of the first 5 ideas and revisit that and see what comes from this particular path at any time. Now, another thing that you can do now with Seenapse, and I wanted to show you that too, and for that, from the brief, I started a second thread, and this is research. You can ask for things like, what are the latest trends in the UK in regards to using bikes for transportation and leisure? And you will get information from the web, from relevant sources, and you will always have citations, so you can make sure that the sources are really to be trusted. And from here, for example, it occurred to me that maybe we could ask for some consumer insights based on that mini research. And it generated 3, because if you don't specify a number, it creates always 3. And for example, cycling shouldn't compromise my style, or I want gear that evolves with my lifestyle, or I want to cycle more but cities make it hard. And I liked this one here, and I also marked it as favorite. And I asked for ideas based on that insight. Now, naturally, this set of ideas here is going to be very different from all the other ideas that we've been working on, just because we have different contexts now. We have the initial brief, and then the mini research, and then some insights. And from one particular insight, we are developing these 3 other ideas. And for example, this one I found interesting, and I marked as favorite, because it gives us the idea to use a subscription model where users can switch and swap components as their needs evolve. And this is intriguing because it's not just a communication idea, but maybe something that could be an interesting addition to the business model of our client, of the brand, and also it will be a value added for customers. So I like that one, but again, I'm giving it direction because I think it could be better if we could propose a secondary market for model components, because when your needs change, you might want to sell one of the components you have and buy another. And so it fleshes out the idea of the model marketplace, a circular economy for components. From that idea, I want to have ideas for communication, for a campaign based on this. And again, since I didn't specify a number, it gives me 3 different options. So I get the modal infinite stream, the modal jury, and modal trialism. And this one I liked because it mentions the idea of sharing stories about their pre-loved components, users sharing stories about their pre-loved components in the marketplace. And again, I thought, what about making this campaign from the point of view of pre-loved components? And then it will give me ideas in that direction. So modal reunion, reconnecting lives, second chances, a component's tale, Dear Diary, the life of a component. I also selected it as a favorite. And I asked for 3 ideas for an Instagram reel based on that concept. And so we have here some of those ideas. One of these I particularly liked and asked for an illustration for this. It gave me first a verbal description and later the illustration. And the same for the second idea that I really liked, which is about um, an old rack that is abandoned in somebody's garage, and it gets a second life later because of the marketplace, of course. And so again, you can explore many different avenues of thought very, very quickly. And if you are in the process now of selecting, for example, which of the ideas you think are worth working more on them, you can switch on here this, and it will clear all of the board and present you only those ideas that you have marked as favorites. And this is really, really practical, and you can you discuss with the team which ones you want to develop, for example. And you can obviously return to the regular view if you want to add more to the board, keep exploring. And for example, you can also invite people to collaborate in your board. I have this one shared already with Yume, my co-founder, and she can at any point go into this board and start adding either completely new threads from starting from the brief, or collaborating with the threads I've already worked on and taking things into different directions. And the really, really nice thing about that is that everybody's contributing to getting more and more ideas on the board, more possibilities. And as you know, the saying, the best way to have a great idea is to have a lot of ideas. And Seenapse can give you a lot of good ideas very, very quickly. And so this is what you can do with Seenapse. As I mentioned before, we're very happy with this new version. We think you will too. I want to ask you to try it out. Tell us what works for you, what doesn't. Give us your feedback. If you like it, please share it to help us spread the word. And I really thank you for your time and your attention.